Welcome back to Everlasting Summer. This is part 15? I'm completely guessing at that. I'm sorry I missed Wednesday. I was really sick Wednesday. There was no way I was recording anything. I've been sick this whole week with a stupid cold. And it's starting to slowly go away. I'm recording this on Thursday, and I'm starting to feel a little bit better, but still coldish. If I'm not sick today, Friday, when this is coming out, that sounds weird to say, I'm going to be doing a 12-hour live or 24-hour live stream, so go check that out. That's probably happening right now, but there'll be a link in the description, but it might not be. I don't know. Let's get this started. I struggle to turn back, making my face look as casual as possible. So, what's going on here? Oh, I'm just having a walk. My voice sounded calm, but I already understood. I wouldn't fool Alisa. Alone, at night, in the woods? Well, yeah. What's wrong? Nothing. Nothing at all. She stared at me. Okay, then I'll... Hold on. Am I forgetting something? I don't think so. We had an agreement. About the night. I think she's right. There's something like that. Yes, but you see... I see nothing! Let's go. She turned around and gestured me to follow. There's no point to argue. Any word or deed could give me away. And then, sighing, I followed. It was a couple minutes before we ended up in her cabin. Oh, dude. Not here again. While we were walking, I was busy picking the best time and place to get rid of the vodka, but Alisa was too close, so I didn't manage anything. Well? She stared at me. Well, what? I was so nervous my hair was all wet. The only thing on my mind at the moment was how to adjust the bottle so she wouldn't not notice. What do you say? About what? Alisa pondered. Okay, I guess you're right. I brought you here, so I'm the one to decide. Okay, I agreed, unsure. Hold on a minute. She reached under the bed, and in a few seconds, the Stolichnaya bottle of vodka was out. I was shocked. Really? Surprised, huh? Of course. Not by the vodka itself, but by the fact that it was the exact bottle I carried to the infirmary in the morning. The murky contents gave it away. So? Alisa looked at me teasingly. What? Always just to be safe, I'm turning that down. Want to take a shot? I didn't even know what to say to that. What she had was just rotten water. The real vodka was in the bottle under my belt. Well, I kind of... Don't tell me you don't drink, Alisa pouted. I don't know, no, I just... Alright then, just a second. In an instant, Alisa got 2 glasses and filled them to the brim. Let's do this, she said, giving me one of the glasses, and downed hers before I could answer. Phew, she gasped. In a moment she realized. What on earth is that? She started spitting. You're calling this vodka? Despite my difficulty, I couldn't help laughing. What are you laughing at? Alisa shouted, red in the face. Ask, what's so funny? It is actually funny. So he is having fun. Drink yours. We'll see how you laugh then. I had no desire to try expired water. How does a water expire? But just to avoid getting her suspicions, I asked. Or suspicious, I asked. So, how does it taste? Like rotten water, Alisa said, upset. I was just gonna relax a bit, have a cultured timeout, and then it... A cultured timeout, I repeated, as a new bout of laughter bent me in half. Hey, stop it. Lisa shouted and jumped at me. She was trying to hit me, or bite me, or something. Maybe her plan was to crush me to death with her authority. I just grabbed her hands, and all she could do was gasp in powerless anger. All was going fine, but then Alisa's legs slid, and she began to fall. I let go of her hands, and she fell right on top of me, painfully headbutting me in the nose. I moaned in pain, threw her off, and turned to the side. What do we have here? When I realized she'd taken the bottle, all the pain disappeared. Give it back! I tried to get the bottle back, but Alisa nimbly jumped off the bed and ran to the far corner of the room. Let's see, huh? She immediately took off the cap and made a big gulp. In a moment, her face went red and her eyes seemed to pop out of their sockets. You don't want to down vodka like that. What's this? She rasped while coming back to her senses. That's the actual vodka. I seemed to have come to terms with my defeat. But where did you get it? You really thought you'd stolen the right one from the infirmary? She nodded. Well, there's the right bottle, sure, but the contents... Man, you're clever. She was already starting to slur her words. God, I thought I was an easy drunk with vodka. Damn. Alisa came to the window, poured the water out of my glass, and replaced it with vodka. Come on. I don't want it. Really, not the right time or place. Drink it, or else I'll tell everyone you stole the bottle. But it was you. Well, you have the vodka. You can't prove that. You think I even have to? Alisa said maliciously. Unsure what to do, I stared at the glass. What's important is to get rid of the vodka. This is just one of the ways to do it. I breathed out abruptly and swallowed the contents of the glass in one quick motion. A short moment after, I regretted that. Got any food to chase this? Wait a second. Alisa said excitedly and pulled a huge stick of ham out of her drawer. What? I tore it from her hands and bit off a big piece. Whew. So, how was it? You're asking. It's not like I'm having full-loaded booze every day, you know. I didn't really understand how I had agreed to this so easily. Well, how was it? Like double bubble with vodka flavor. Alright, time for another round then. She opened the bottle again and poured us half a glass each. Don't you think that's enough? No way. Well, since we've already started. The alcohol was starting its work. Without a second thought, I gulped down the vodka. Alisa was definitely less experienced. She was having some trouble with the second glass. Ugh. How does it... She seemed really drunk already. You can't handle the heat. Get out of the kitchen, I said merrily, pouring myself some more. Somewhere deep inside I realized it was too much, but the gun was already loaded. How about me? How about me? Alisa was outraged. Haven't you had enough? No way. She grabbed the bottle from my hand and started to drink straight from the bottle. Hey, you have glasses, you know. Screw 'em. She shouted and roared in laughter. This is so cool, she said, catching her breath. Sure, not bad. I looked at the bottle. We'd gone through 2/3. That's fast. I was definitely drunk by that point, and Alisa seemed even worse. Then again, there was barely anything left. I sighed and poured a full glass for myself and a half for Alisa. That's all. With these words, she chucked the bottle from the window. What if they find it? Oh, who cares? We both laughed. Okay then, for all ladies present. I grunted and drank. And for the gentleman. She followed my lead. I'm getting dizzy. She undid a few buttons on her shirt. What was that about the Alisa route being ruined? I carefully looked at her. Had she always been this beautiful? Yeah. Or is everyone beautiful to me at this point? Yeah. Whichever it was, I could not force myself to look away. You're gonna stare a hole through me if you keep going like that. Alisa laughed. Sorry. Embarrassed, I stared at my feet. You can look if you're so interested. With some effort, I opened an eye and saw her continuing to unbutton her shirt. No words escaped my mouth. Besides, who needs words at a moment like this? What happened then was what was supposed to happen. At the time... I just love being sick. At the time, I was unable to think of what's right to do. And I didn't want to... I just felt good. A light bulb burned out. Or one of us turned off the light, but the room went dark. I looked around her cabin and thought of something. Where's Ileana? What? You're afraid someone will come in and see us? She grinned warmly. Could happen. I asked her to spend the night at another girl's cabin. Wait, so you... planned all this? Yeah, that's usually what having plans means. Well, not something like this, of course. She looked at me intently, smiled, and closed her eyes. Yeah. I stared at the ceiling for a while longer, and soon heard quiet, deep breathing. Alisa was asleep. Oh, really? My head ached suddenly. The alcohol seemed to be wearing off. That is some shitty alcohol. Gets you drunk instantly and wears off about 10 minutes later. The hell? Best thing to do in this case is to follow her lead and get some sleep as well. Before I finished the thought, I was already fast asleep. Oh, Olga's gonna kill me. Day 7. Another thing with Alisa in it. Woo! Thing. Some people were chasing me. Or maybe it wasn't people, but fuzzy black blots with a hellish landscape on the background. I ran, stumbling over something, having no air to breathe. My whole essence was overtaken by primal fear and terror. And then a memory lapse. I've opened my swelled-out eyelids, only to have my eyes stricken by the bright daylight. A terrible taste in my mouth, pains all over my body, and a severe headache. It seemed someone was drinking hard yesterday. After coming to my senses, somehow I started to recall the events of last night. I believe there was a bottle of vodka which we happily emptied with Alisa together. I tried to stand up, but something was blocking my left arm. It was a peacefully snoring Alisa. Everything that happened returned to my mind. Fear was quickly replaced by a feeling of euphoria. I lay down imposingly on the bed, enjoying a beautiful hungover morning. Some time later, Alisa woke up. I kissed her softly and said, "Good morning." She gave me a blank look for a couple of seconds, then jumped up shouting, "You! You!" Me what? "Yesterday you..." she hissed. "But you kind of supported the idea." "I was drunk." "Oh, did we, Chickamau?" Like me, what can we do? Alisa is furiously looking at me, but then calmed down and sat beside me. "Alright, what happens happens." "You sure?" I got up and tried to hug her. "Don't," she whispered, blushing. "Why?" "Because." Alisa started to spin her head hectically. "Because it's 4 o'clock already." Alright, I read that as myself. That was from her, wasn't it? "Because it's 4 o'clock already." "And what? Don't tell me you're late somewhere." "Everyone will leave without us." "Leave where?" "Today is the last day." "Really? The last day of what?" I asked, completely confused. "The last day of the session." "What? A hangover that seemed to have already passed a while ago made a sharp comeback. I've been here a week. Don't tell me you didn't know, asked Alisa in surprise. So, you did know it? Well, yes, but I've forgotten it somehow. And what should we do now? Actually, it wasn't the main thing that I was concerned about. If today was the last day, then everyone will go somewhere. So one of us can get out of this camp somehow. Someone can get out of this camp somehow. Well, I have no idea. Maybe we can still make it. I jumped out of bed and started dressing quickly. Yeah, we chicka bow. It was difficult as coordination was badly disturbed by yesterday's lavish libation. Who talks like this? What are you waiting for? Alisa didn't reply, but started dressing too. A couple of minutes later, we were standing at the deserted square. Let's go to the camp leader's cabin. After opening Olga's cabin with my key, I found nobody inside. We checked the entire camp and found that we were alone here. After returning to the square, I sat down and covered my face with my hands like a doomed man. I still felt sick, but now it turned out that I was to solve serious problems. And where could they go? Well, to the district center, I guess. Do you know where it is? Approximately. Is it possible to reach it on foot? Don't know. And how long would it take on a bus? A couple of hours. Quickly, I reckoned how much it is in kilometers. Taking into consideration quality of Soviet motor car industry and Soviet roads, one could presume that it is quite possible to reach it on foot, providing that Alisa knows the exact direction. Moreover, in my situation, it's not easy to decide on such steps. But we can't stay here as well. Alone, without food, in a deserted pioneer camp? In real life, it'll definitely be a bad idea, but I had no other choice but to take everything happening as reality. Let's go. Where? To the district center. Are you mad? You suggest staying here? Sure. You'll notice we're missing and we'll return. Don't you think it's odd they haven't noticed it during departure? Well, yeah, but... She started to think. But to go somewhere all alone. But you said you knew the direction. I do, she agreed without confidence. So what's there to think about? Maybe we'll meet some local buses on the way. I don't really believe in it myself, but if there's an exit from this camp, this idea seems quite real. I don't know, as you say, she prattled confusedly. Then start packing your stuff. Meet me here in half an hour. I ran toward Olga's cabin. Yes, not much to pack. I tossed warm clothes. I was about to go when an interesting thought crossed my mind. What for may I actually need it? Anyway, what for may I need it actually? It doesn't seem to be late summer, so what's the point in dragging unnecessary weight along? Especially since I don't know how far I'm going to walk. After reasoning that one could survive such weather without coat and warm boots, I shoved my cell phone with dying battery. It lasted a fucking week. Holy shit. With dying battery into my pocket and went to the square. I was about to wait at least 20 minutes for Alisa. My hangover seemed to ease a little, so I could better focus on the previous night. What does she really mean to me? Was it just drunk sex or something more? We did! Go, Semyon! Score. Naturally, I can't speak for Alisa. It's difficult to speak even for myself. I began to remember my acquaintance with her, how she teased and mocked me at first, her arrogance and self-confidence. It was more than compensated by the tenderness of last night. It was already clear that she is not the person she wants to seem. But what kind of person is the real Alisa? And do I have any feelings towards her? I do feel sympathy, sort of affection, but is there something more? My reflections were interrupted by Alisa. Here, take it. She held out a huge backpack to me. What's this? I asked skeptically. My stuff. Why so little? As much as I could fit. Look, we don't know how long we are to go. Maybe we'll only take the most necessary things. So what? I'm to throw it away? Leave it here? Lisa sniffed. Firstly, I couldn't understand why does she have that much stuff, and secondly, what's so valuable is there? But the honorable duty of carrying it is mine, isn't it? Of course, she smiled archly. I evaluated how much could it weigh. About 10 kilos, I guessed. I can carry it for a few kilometers, but not further than that. You do understand that we'll not get far away with it. Well, we'll do our best. You mean I can throw out something later? We'll see, she answered with her eyes flashing slyly. Okay, I'm taking you at your word. After all, as I carry it, I've got a full right to throw togs out of it. And so our way began. Tog sounds like a British word. To me. I don't understand it. It took me at least an hour to start getting tired. I would never think I possessed such a stamina. I mean, after last night. Either the backpack was handy to carry, or last night's exercises trained my muscles. That's what I'm saying. Oh man, I'm having too much fun with that. I stopped on the roadside and thrown Elisa's belongings on the ground. What are you doing? She was clearly resented. Do you want to carry it yourself? Of course not. If so, I must rest. Naturally, the most rational decision was to get rid of most of the stuff, keeping only the most necessary things, but I couldn't bring myself to such drastic measures. You're keeping silence for the whole time. Alisa was looking at the receding into the distance Alisa was looking into the distance at the receding road with an empty glance. What is there to talk about? I don't know. But you behave as if nothing happened. Did something happen? She asked absent-mindedly. Well, you know. Got enough rest? Then let's go. Alisa began to quickly move away from me. Hey, wait a minute. I shouldered the backpack and ran after her. We've already been going in silence for some time, with Alisa slightly ahead and me behind. I had no idea how to start a conversation. She seems to be giving an oblivious hint that last night's events were one big mistake. At least, it seemed to me. Though, from my point of view, what happened was to happen. The last few days in the camp, I was definitely attracted to Alisa. And I believe she was attracted to me as well. Can someone seriously spell it out for this dumbass? Come on! In that case, what's wrong? Maybe she doesn't want it to be just a one-night stand. That's 3 words, not 1. You know, she turned and looked at me. If I did something wrong, you did nothing wrong. But it just turned out this way. So it was just something accidental. I haven't said that. Then what have you said? Without getting a straight answer, I began to lose my temper and I raised my voice. They're just hints, ambiguities. What about straightforwardness, sincerity? At first you weren't like this. People tend to change. She slowly paced forward. Change? You call this change? You're a completely different person now, just like Lena, really. Alisa stopped, but didn't turn. Don't compare. Yeah, never compare girls. They don't like that. Got it? Don't compare me with her. She spoke quietly, but there was rage in her voice. What? I was somewhat taken aback. You blame me for something, but what about yourself? You constantly look at her. Even now you manage to see her in me. Wait, what's... Why did you come yesterday then? You could have gone to her. You didn't know. Didn't know what? Didn't know that I'm waiting for you. It seems that this confession was a hard decision for Alisa, but at first I gave little importance to her words. Well, you yourself told me to come yesterday, so I... Oh, you made her cry again. Yeah. This isn't about it. Alisa burst into sobs and covered her face with her hands. I was taken aback completely. I still couldn't catch what she's hinting at, so it was impossible to talk normally. My nose is completely stuffed right now. Sorry. Forgive me. Stop apologizing. But if I said something wrong or did... So what's the point in apologizing if you already did? Better behave yourself right from the very beginning. But I don't know how! Lisa looked up at me. There was so much sorrow in her gaze that I couldn't bear it and turned away. We stood like this for some time. Soon she seemed to become herself. Okay, forget it. Let's move on. Naturally, I couldn't forget it, even if I wanted to. But anyway, I had nothing to say, so I followed her in silence. The sun was slowly moving behind the horizon. I was immersed in thoughts and even forgot about the heavy backpack on my back. I had to say something, do something. Alisa is expecting me to. At least a few words. But what should I begin with? I got used to everything in my life, becoming quite simple. I'm gonna end this one here. We'll continue next time. Bye-bye.